Hello, and welcome to my talk. I am Shoshana Goldberg-Miller from The Ohio State University, and today I'm going to be talking about Beijing and the creative downtown. So as we know, cities have become a central focus of study globally as both residents and visitors continue to flock to urban areas, and more than half of the world's population now lives in cities. Places where artists, designers, and craftspeople cluster become magnets for residents, tourists, and economic development. Creative amenities, including galleries, specialty restaurants, and craft stores, and creative businesses such as architecture firms, design companies, and fashion production studios, enhance the quality of life in any urban area. It's common knowledge now that these creative hubs often are located in the center of cities, where the building stock is cheaper and where these creative people can afford to establish studios, businesses, and amenities that serve them and their wide circle of friends. Interventions incorporating the creative economy also have been gaining in popularity, including cultural districts, festivals and fairs, support for anchor cultural institutions, and the fostering of cultural entrepreneurship. Numerous municipal policy options may be implemented, such as tax incentives for developers incorporating creative amenities, and options that promote the clustering of the creative class. Academics and planners alike have observed and studied the cycle that often accompanies this kind of development, which begins with creatives agglomerating in an area and progresses to a stage wherein the cultural sector is priced out of the neighborhood and relocates, beginning the cycle anew, as I show here in the cycle of the creative sector. So here we talk about where the creatives have moved into a neighborhood, where people are drawn to the neighborhood, and then actors notice that more people are clustering there. We see that stakeholders become interested. We see that the messages about creatives begin to change. And we see that the public and policymakers change their ideas about the creative sector and the creative class. And a lot of investment comes, and then creatives are priced out. Now, many policies and programs are aimed at the central areas of cities, or what is commonly known as downtown. But what is the idea of downtown? It might include places such as historic city centers, central business districts, and areas in which residents, tourists, and creative producers and consumers cluster. There are numerous kinds of downtowns, such as a 9-to-5 business area, which is empty at night, oversaturated city centers that are losing their creative anchors, derelict downtowns experiencing blight, fabricated downtowns built from the ground up, and exemplary urban areas that are healthy, flourishing, and vital. Now, my research shows increased interest in downtown living, especially by millennials and baby boomers. Millennials love walking, buying local, and getting to know business owners. Baby boomers are empty nesters, leaving their suburban homes. They all want to be where the action is, and downtown is the place to be. It needs to be a downtown with shops, cafes, restaurants, and other amenities, so that these new center city citizens can have fun after work or enjoy themselves during the day if they are retired. They need density. They need creativity. They need art and culture. But when prices go up, including live workspaces, many creative people and cultural businesses are forced to leave the city center, diminishing the vitality downtown. In understanding downtowns, we can look at ways that the creative sector has become perceived as an economic engine and a key tool in the policy toolbox for building the urban brand, drawing in residents and tourists, and spurring financial investment in the center city, which I illustrate here in the transformation of the creative city paradigm. So we can see that studies are commissioned about the creative city and creatives, and then that gives changes in attitude towards the sector. Then a lot of times policy interventions targeting the creative sector are created. And we measure the outcomes of those, and really it leads to the acceptance of the creative sector as an economic engine. Now, why are certain areas magnets for creativity? And how do municipal actors foster flourishing city centers? Many cities have numerous kinds of downtowns within one urban area. Why are people drawn to these centers, and how can people make sure in cities that they keep creativity downtown? Creatives worldwide have chosen to cluster in city centers, leading to revitalization, but often these areas become magnets for hyperactivity by developers. What policies have been successful at promoting economic vitality, sustainable opportunities for creatives, and public good options for the take-up of cultural amenities? One can analyze materials including urban planning data, cultural plans, global creative city networks, and municipal branding campaigns. There is increased interest in exploring the integration of arts and culture into the urban environment in China. In addition, the creative community's role as a driving economic force has been widely recognized there. It is important to identify the assets, challenges, and opportunities in the city of Beijing from the point of view of a variety of stakeholders. These include policymakers, residents and visitors, artists and arts organizations, developers, commercial businesses, and creative entrepreneurs. There are numerous voices, financial and professional realities, and forces to be considered. Integrating arts and culture can build the brand, draw in new residents, and attract visitors. In Beijing, arts and culture amenities abound, including the 798 Arts District, which I show here. Also, the Kaohanaji Arts District, which you can see here. And also the 22nd Street International Art Plaza, seen here, as well as anchor cultural institutions such as the behemoth National Arts Center for the Performing Arts, seen here, and the National Art Museum of China, seen here. Together with the wealth of small and mid-sized cultural entities, these cultural destinations and experiences define the brand of Beijing as more than a highly populated megacity. A plethora of temporal cultural events, including China Fashion Week, seen here, and the highly publicized Beijing College Student Film Festival offer opportunities for arts and culture take-up to resident and visitors alike without financial barriers to entry. Additionally, Beijing is home to creative clusters such as the Diago International Art Zone. This is still the film festival. The Diago International Art Zone, which echoes New York City's Soho. And the fashion industry's Bift Park, each of which foster innovation and cultural development, recognizing that proximity is important in encouraging the growth of idea exchange. Policy theories and frameworks can be powerful tools in the service of analyzing cultural policy learning and adaptation in Beijing. Since it is not feasible to penetrate the policymaking that occurs behind closed doors in the Chinese state, in my recent article on Beijing in an online journal called Artivate, I employed a positivist method in looking at the outcomes of shifts in opportunities and subsequent policy interventions. In other words, I observed what was actually going on without looking in the black box of Chinese policymaking. The 798 Arts District and the National Center for the Performing Arts, or NCPA, are two cases I present that illustrate theories and practice regarding policy entrepreneurship, cultural planning, and creative city building. The 798 Arts District is a case of policy adaptation, wherein the government supported a burgeoning arts destination after a struggle for legitimization. The 798 Arts District now is one of the largest of its kind in the world, drawing numerous local, national, and international visitors annually. The NCPA was brought to life as the result of what is known in the Multiple Streams Policy Framework, or MS, as an open policy window, which in this case was the Olympic Games, which were to be held in Beijing in 2008. Numerous actors coalesced to seize this opportunity to feature China's culture and creativity on the world stage, fostering the building of a massive performing arts center. This is an illustration of the multiple streams framework in which the three streams of problems, politics, and policy must align in order to enact change. Since Beijing has numerous examples of creative clusters, arts districts, cultural anchors, and temporal events, as I have shown here today, it is a city from which other urban areas can learn. Studying Beijing's creative hubs offers scholars, policymakers, urban planners, and the public the opportunity to look at ways that policy learning and adaptation are alive and well in China. Through the use of policy theories, we can analyze ways that China is incorporating lessons from cities around the world or policy learning in order to formulate bespoke solutions to the challenges of fostering cities with a wealth of arts and culture producers and consumers. Since many of these interventions occur in urban areas or downtowns, it would be useful to apply the lens of placemaking and cultural destination planning to these investigations on the creative downtown. Thank you very much, and I look forward to hearing from you, so please contact me.